Hi, and welcome to my channel. So this is a little dinged up, but it got dinged up in transit. This is glass paint from Temu, so we're gonna give this a try. It is sealed. I'm gonna use my nail. If any nail techs are watching, I'm sorry. Looks like we get our primaries and a few secondaries. This is 12 count. So we've got the white, yellow, orange, red, a darker red, brown, black, two different greens. It looks like a dark blue and two more blacks. Oh, this might be a darker brown. That would make more sense. So I haven't fully opened the plastic yet. I was getting ready to, but something that I'm noticing is that it's not color names. It looks like they're all color codes. But what I'm also seeing is a star rating per color. And that typically means that's the light fast rating. So say this brown color right here is going to be better in the sun with its 4 stars than this dark blue, for instance. So let's get these open and see what we get. So something I'm also noticing now is they do also have color names. It was just angled the opposite way. So for instance, right here we've got Scarlet and Vermilion. So what I've got is this glass candy dish that I tried to put resin in. The resin did not set, so I used nail polish instead, which is a little ghetto, but it's okay. And then I did sketch this succulent flower, or succulent rosette rather, and then just taped it on the inside, and then I can clean the nail polish that got moved around on the inside after, because the painting will be on the outside versus the inside. I moved all of my colors into the lid so that I can use the plastic insert as a palette. My dog kind of broke my ceramic palette, so this is what we'll be using for that. And I've got my photo up for reference. So it's mostly different shades of green, and as expected, this is the kind of tube where you have to pop it with the lid. So I squirted out most of the colors, except for black and yellow ochre. I don't know that I will need those two. Something that I noticed right off the bat is they are very liquidy and they seem separated, especially, I don't know if you can see this bright green. So it seems like the binder is really separated, and I haven't had them for long. I bought them and didn't use them right away. This is the first time I'm using them, but I haven't had them for long enough for that to be something that I would expect from them. Besides that, the colors, they don't seem like what they are advertised. So if you look at this burnt umber, this is the burnt umber, and I stuck my fingers in them, of course I did. That doesn't seem like a burnt umber. Some of them are just, this is right here, this is scarlet, and that's very pink for a scarlet. But I am going to just try and mix a few colors and see my first thoughts, and I will get back to you guys in a moment. So like I was concerned about with how thin the paints are, it's very, very transparent. So I'm kind of just doing a base layer. I'm gonna let this dry and we'll see how well it dries. I've been laying it on pretty thick as well. I don't want to do every single leaf in every single section with my thick base layer because I still want to be able to see my lines to be able to use as a guide. So I'm gonna work in pieces. So if you can kind of see how globby I had to do it and how streaky it is, that is because of the paints. And I don't know if that's something normal for glass paints, but I'm gonna let that dry and we'll come back and work on it some more. So I've let this dry for a little bit. Some of these like really thick parts are still wet underneath, or at least it feels like they are. But we're just gonna keep going. Something I've also noticed is it is drying a little bit thinner or lighter than it was even before, I believe. I can't be for certain, but it seems so. And I'm adding red right now to the color to mute it, because this part's a little bit in the background. Because of the transparency, I'm not gonna worry too much about blending, because if I overlap with this transparency, it'll kind of naturally blend on its own. Because you can kind of see here, where was it? Like over here, where it's kind of blended on its own, and it's mostly because of the transparency. And I know it looks like a globby mess right now, but when I go in and add those reddish purple tips to everything, it'll really bring it together. Wiping that bit away, I went over the previously dried section from before, and it is proving to be rub resistant, so that's a good thing. So you can move it around once it's, well, while it's still wet, but once it's dry, which is a good thing. So if you're painting on glass, you're probably going to try and wash it. You're going to want to move it around a little bit. So you want it to be pretty durable. So I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, and we'll come back to it and kind of finish up the petals and the in-between points. And then after that, we'll let that dry and we'll do the tips and kind of pull it all together. So it's still not fully dry yet again, especially this part where I really globbed it on. But we're just gonna get back into it anyhow. Let's see, I really need to work on these middle pieces. I'm actually going to jump in on the red in a few spots, the reddish purpley color, just so that I can tell the difference where each petal is without making a huge mess. And the color, for the most part, is pretty consecutive around the whole thing. Except for the middle where it's a little bit more vibrant. I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush and hopefully we can get the detail that I'm looking for. And where I want it a little bit lighter and more blendy, I'm just wiping most of it off my brush and dabbing on. I'm not quite getting the detail that I wanted, mostly because of how thick I have to lay this, but I'm also not super upset about it. And for some of this, with my dirty brush, with the color that we were using previously, I'm going straight in with the red so that it's still kind of got that muted purpley tone, but it's more vibrant. I'm just kind of working where I can without touching the red. And then we'll let it dry another layer and we'll go back. I'm trying to do what I can in one sitting because this, although the painting process hasn't taken me that long at all, the drying has taken quite a while. And I do try and stay consecutive in my videos by wearing like the same shirt, or in this case I'm wearing a dress. But this has taken me multiple days. I just leave whatever I'm wearing on my chair. When I come back to it, I come back to it. But this has taken me several days already, including the drying process of this down here. And I think I talked about it. If I didn't, the purpose of that is because this is going to be a pen jar. We use Expo markers at work quite a bit, and I wanted something that was more me than just sticking them in like a candle jar. So I figured I would kill two birds with one stone and paint it on my channel for work. So I'm gonna jump in with a white and add my highlights. Let's see if I can do this without getting nail polish everywhere. I did it! So definitely messy. Definitely could use some more work. But I don't hate it. I did decide to do another layer. As it was drying, I was also seeing some more really thin spots to where you could see directly through it. some spots that I just completely missed as well. So I'm just kind of going back in and filling in the sloppier spots and the real thin spots and the spots that I missed. I don't mind a few super transparent spots because, again, that kind of just, I feel like it's an artistic move in a sense. Call me lazy for it all you want, but I feel like considering the medium and the surface that I'm using to paint on, I just think it'll look kind of nice to have, whoa, that was way too much, to have a little bit of clear points, just not everywhere. So I'm just going in, adjusting the colors here and there, but I'm not being super concerned about being exact as much as I was before. And I'm trying to be cautious of the light, and I know that I'm not putting it straight down, but because of the thickness of the glass and the transparency of the glass, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing when it's like that. I was trying every once in a while before to be a little bit more cautious about it, but I'm not as worried. You guys will see the completed project when it's done and dry. So if you guys do like this project and you want to see more stuff like it but where it's top down, let me know, and I can always do it on like a thinner piece of glass, or on just like the glass from a picture frame or something, to where it's easier straight down. But if you guys don't want to see it, I'm probably not gonna do it on camera if I do it again. It is fun medium. It's just a little frustrating how thin it is, but I think part of that also has to do with the quality, because again, this is from Temu. I don't remember exactly how much I spent on it, if I'm being honest. So this is the finished product. I did add some reddish brown to the floret petals, leaves, whatever you want to call them at this point here, just because I didn't feel like there was enough separation. I did add the test tubes, and I put a few plants in here, but that is the finished product without the markers in them, because again, we're still waiting for some stuff to solidify. But if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy my art, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to stay artsy. Have a great day.